Dr. Stone just teamed up with a real space agency, and it's insane. The anime is officially collaborating with the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency to celebrate Dr. Stone, science future. There's even a special exhibition in Japan showing Senku in a real JAXA-style spacesuit. It's happening at the Tsukuba Space Center from April to August 2026. Anime going real science mode.
So, what language is everyone even speaking in Dr. Stone? Because if you really think about it, they travel across the world, meet completely different groups, and somehow communication just works. And at first you don't question it, until that one moment where Japanese actually becomes a secret code and the Americans don't understand it, which means, yeah, there is a language barrier. So now it starts making sense. The villagers speak Japanese because of Byakuya's 100 Tales, but once they reach America, it's not that everyone magically understands each other. It's just that people like Senku, Gen, and the others are constantly translating in the background. And when they're not there, it's just guessing and vibes. So are they actually communicating or just winging it the whole time?
So what actually happened to cave divers when the petrification beam hit in Dr. Stone? Because I saw someone ask, if the beam didn't go through the earth, does that mean people underground had a chance to survive? But here's the thing, it actually does go through the earth. It just slows down depending on the material, which means, yeah, cave divers, even mid-dive, were most likely turned to stone. And here's the wild part. As they turned into stone, their bodies would sink deeper underwater, making them nearly impossible to ever find. And after 3,000 years of pressure and erosion, would they even still be intact? So did they survive? Or were they basically lost forever the moment the beam hit?
So I was rewatching Dr. Stone for the 4th time and realized something. When the petrification beam hit everyone, Senku was in his lab, Kaiju was about to confess, and Zeno and Stanley were in a meeting, which basically means some people were definitely in the bathroom, mid-shower, mid-bath, or worse, mid-taking a shit. And it's not like you just pause. You're stuck in that exact pose for thousands of years. We literally even have Yo confirming he was taking a leak. So now imagine reviving someone and that's how they come back. So is this actually the most cursed detail in Dr. Stone?
Do you know that after the petrification, when the entire civilization turned to stone, over thousands of years, many people ended up trapped in different parts of the environment? Some got stuck under tree roots, some broke into pieces and merged with the ground, some were buried deep beneath the earth, and many sank miles underwater that not even a single ray of sunlight could reach them. So what do you think? Will Senku and his team ever be able to bring all these stone humans back? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments.
Why are the characters in Dr. Stone still wearing the same ragged clothes even when they're advanced enough to build rockets? At first, it makes sense. They're in a stone world where survival comes first. Leather is durable, practical, and much easier to produce in harsh conditions, while proper cloth takes a lot more time, tools, and resources. But then you realize these same people are building ships, making antibiotics, and literally working towards space travel. So how are they still stuck with torn capes and leather rags as their default outfits? One idea is that they just got used to it. Over time, that survival-based clothing style may have turned into tradition, passed down through generations. So is it actual survival logic, or just a design choice that stuck from the start?
Why couldn't Sai break free from petrification on his own? In Dr. Stone, both Senku and Dr. Zeno managed to revive themselves thanks to their insanely sharp minds. So if Sai is also a mathematical genius, why couldn't he do the same? The answer comes down to two key things: his environment and his will. First, petrification isn't instant death. It traps your consciousness inside stone. If your brain keeps working non-stop, it slowly weakens the stone from the inside over time. However, thinking alone isn't enough to break free. The real trigger is nitric acid. Senku revived because he was in a bat cave where nitric acid naturally formed, while Zeno was exposed to acid rain, giving both of them the perfect conditions. Sai, however, wasn't so lucky. When he was petrified, he was on the top floor of a school building, which eventually collapsed and left him buried deep underground. The soil there lacked the necessary chemical properties, and he had no exposure to nitric acid, meaning he was completely sealed off. Then comes the second factor, his will. Sai may have been a genius, but he didn't enjoy being used for his intelligence, which is why he left for India in the first place. What he truly loved was programming, but after thousands of years, computers no longer existed, and that hit him hard. Even after being revived, Sai questioned why he was brought back to a world without computers. So even if he kept thinking at first, once he realized everything he loved was gone, he likely lost the motivation to continue. Over time, that loss of will may have caused his consciousness to fade, and without both continuous thinking and nitric acid, breaking free from petrification just wasn't possible for him. So what if Y-Man in Dr. Stone isn't actually the villain? Think about it. The first thing it ever says is just why, over and over again. It sounds creepy, sure, but it also feels more like confusion than anything else. And then later, it hits them with, "Do you want to die?" Everyone took that as a threat, but what if it wasn't a threat at all? Because Y-Man only reacts when humanity starts using radio waves again. So what if Y-Man isn't attacking? What if it's panicking, like it's trying to shut humanity down before something else finds them? Especially now that we're in the final arc. The real question is Y-Man the enemy or humanity's last warning?
So guys, you probably already know that Byakuya Ishigami is not Senku Ishigami's real father. He adopted him, but despite that, the love he had for Senku was deeper than anything. He believed in Senku more than he believed believed in his own life. When all of humanity suddenly turned to stone and the entire world fell into silence, there was no hope left for anyone. No one knew if humanity would ever come back. Byakuya didn't know what the future would look like, and he had no way of knowing whether Senku was even alive or not. Yet, even in that hopeless situation, he never stopped believing in him. He kept telling the others that one day Senku would wake up, that one day Senku would bring science back and save humanity. To everyone else, it sounded impossible, but for Byakuya, it wasn't hope, it was certainty. Even when years passed and his life was slowly coming to an end, he still held on to that belief. He trusted that somewhere in the stone world, Senku would eventually return and rebuild civilization. He may not be the smartest father in the world, but without a doubt, he is one of the greatest fathers ever.
You know why Chrome is probably the most important character in Dr. Stone? Unlike everyone else, Chrome didn't learn science from books. He figured it all out by himself. In a world where people thought everything was magic, Chrome was the only one still collecting weird stones, minerals, and chemicals. The villagers even thought he was a total weirdo. But Chrome knew one thing. These magic rocks had secrets. He kept experimenting over and over, trying to understand how the world really worked. And when he finally met someone who believed in science just like him, his curiosity became something unstoppable. Chrome wasn't born a genius, but his curiosity turned him into a real scientist.
So, what have the Dr. Stone characters become in the new world? Let's see. Number 14, Ginro. He has become one of the Kingdom of Science's guards, but he's still scared most of the time. Number 13, Kinro. He continues to serve as a serious and disciplined warrior protecting the village. Number 12, Suika. She trained herself alone for years and became mentally one of the strongest survivors. Number 11, Chrome. He is now one of the top scientific minds and plays a major role in developing new inventions. Number 10, Kohaku. She remains one of the strongest fighters and a key protector of the Kingdom of Science. Number 9, Ukyo. He serves as a strategic scout using his sharp hearing to detect enemies from far away. Number 8, Hyoga. After switching sides, he becomes a powerful combat asset for the Kingdom of Science. Number 7, Gen. He continues to work as the master manipulator and mental strategist of the team. Number 6, Kaseki. He is the master craftsman who turns scientific ideas into reality with his skills. Number 5, Ryusui. He leads major missions and handles navigation and strategy with confidence and ambition. Number 4, Taiju. He remains the powerhouse of physical strength and endless stamina. Number 3, Yuzahira. She becomes the key to revival work, carefully restoring countless statues. Number 2, Tsukasa. Once an enemy, he becomes one of the strongest allies protecting humanity. And finally, number 1, Senku, the brain of the new world, the man rebuilding civilization from zero using pure science. So between Senku and Dr. Zeno, who's actually the bigger genius? Well, the manga gives us a pretty clear answer. The living device, Medusa itself, states that Senku is the smartest mind humanity currently has to offer. That's a huge statement. Because of that, even Dr. Zeno, despite being insanely intelligent, doesn't truly surpass Senku in the stone world. We might have found the worst character in Dr. Stone, and it's not who you think. Because when the petrification beam hit, all humans around the world turned into stone. But the device only targeted humans, not other species. And in this episode, this schoolgirl walking her dog turns into stone too. But the dog doesn't, and what's worse, its leash is stuck in the girl's hand. Now, we don't know if it was able to free itself, since that leash looked pretty lodged into the stone. In the manga, it actually breaks free, waits for its owner while crying. Then it cuts to feral dogs. It's also implied the dog survived and became Chalk's ancestor. So did this dog really get the worst life in the anime? Did you know in Dr. Stone, nothing is random, not even the science? The author, Riichiro Inagaki, didn't just create a survival story. He built a world where every invention follows real scientific progression step by step. For example, Senku Ishigami doesn't magically create advanced tech. He starts from stone tools, basic chemistry, electricity, then modern inventions. Exactly the same path humanity followed for thousands of years. Even small details aren't random. The materials he uses, the formulas he explains, the order of discoveries, all of it is based on real-world science logic. This is what makes Dr. Stone different from other anime. It's not just fiction, it's a reconstruction of civilization itself.